Using Red Hat Advanced Cluster Management for Kubernetes to manage a hybrid cluster. By hybrid cluster, I mean a Kubernetes cluster consisting of both Intel-based and also ARM-based nodes. But before I get into that, let us ask two questions. Why do we need Red Hat Advanced Cluster Management, or RHACM? And what does it do for us? To answer those two questions, let's get into the market trends and challenges. Right now, app modernization is top priority for enterprises. Enterprises are rapidly adopting Kubernetes, resulting in Kubernetes being the platform for modernization. And these enterprises soon find out that they need multiple clusters because they want to add scale, scope, size, and at the same time, more complexity. The problem is compounded by multi-cloud. According to an IDC survey, 93% of the enterprises use multiple infrastructure clouds. 81% use multiple public clouds and one or more private and dedicated clouds. As a result of using multi-clouds, new challenges arise, including more difficult to scale and also more error-prone to scale. It's difficult to achieve security control consistently across environments. And it's very difficult to set policies and enforce compliance. In addition to that, we also need to satisfy the requirements of three different user types. The first type is IT operations. These people are concerned about using a single control plane to manage the lifecycle of multiple clusters. They also want to understand the health of their clusters and how they may affect their application availability. And of course, when some problem occurs, they want to be able to troubleshoot the problem. The second type of user type is site reliability engineering / DevOps. They are concerned about the automation of provisioning and deprovisioning of clusters. The automation of placement of workloads based on capacity and policy, and how they're going to push applications updates from dev to prod. The third user type is the SecOps, or security operations. They want to ensure all clusters are compliant with their defined policies. They want to be able to set security policies and enforce them. And they also want to be alerted on configuration drift so that they can remediate this drift. It turns out that RHACM, or Advanced Cluster Management, provide the capabilities to address all of these issues and requirements. This is the first thing you see when you log into the RHACM console. You can see that there are 4 different major capabilities. Starting on the right, top right, is cluster lifecycle. It allows you to create, update, scale, and remove clusters, allow you to import existing clusters into RHACM to be managed by RHACM. They are not limited to just Openshift clusters. You can also import Kubernetes clusters. Once you get the cluster in place, then you can deploy application on these clusters. You can define your applications and also push them out to particular clusters using placement policies. Then you can use governance, risk, and compliance to actually define policies and enforce them. And finally, you can use the end-to-end visibility to look at the alerts, critical application metrics, and overall system health Next, I'm going to give you a demo. So how is this demo different from other RHACM demos that you find on YouTube? First of all, in this demo, I'm going to show you how to manage hybrid Kubernetes cluster. That means a cluster consisting of both Intel and ARM-based nodes, as well as Openshift clusters. Next, I'm going to show you in detail all the four main capabilities of RHACM, including cluster lifecycle. I'm going to show you how I import the hybrid Kubernetes cluster and also the Openshift cluster into RHACM for management. I'm going to show you how to define an application and push out the application to be run on the ARM-based nodes on my hybrid cluster. And also, I'm going to show you how to push an application out to be run on the Intel nodes on my hybrid cluster. Then I'm going to set a policy. Imagine a heavily used cluster. There are constantly people trying to create projects, delete projects, deploy workloads onto these clusters. If these people forget to specify the resource requirement in the port specification and you haven't actually defined any limit range objects, then this pods may use up all your resources. So what you can do is that you can define a limit range policy and push that policy out to all the clusters so that whenever the user forget to specify the resource limits, you can set the default and enforce that limit. Then I'm going to show you the end-to-end visibility tools. For example, finding out the alerts, searching for information, and so on and so forth. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to import a hybrid Kubernetes cluster consisting of both Intel and ARM-based nodes into RHACM. So stay tuned.